at the end of every surgery, we have to make sure that everything is clean and ready to go for the next surgery. This happens to be the last surgery of the day, so we're going to go ahead and turn all the machines off and just clean all those surfaces. So first thing I'm going to do is shut off our bear hugger. And this will be going in the laundry to get washed. And I'm going to turn off all the machines, make sure nothing is on. I'm going to hang everything up in their proper places. And I want to make sure that like nothing is tangled, so I'm just going to tangle all of these wires. And for our temperature probe, not only is it on the ground, but it was also used on a patient. So we're going to go ahead and clean that with some alcohol. And then hang that up so it doesn't get dirty again. Next, I want to make sure that our oxygen is completely off, our ISO is off, our scoop away, and then turn off our lights and our fan. And then next, I'm going to clean the surface of the table. So this is for our chlorhexidine solution, so I'm going to give that some contact time. In the meantime, I'm also going to clean our lights. The outside, basically anywhere that collects dust. We also want to get the candle too. Back up. And then wipe our table down. And then to minimize dust particles building up, we also want to go ahead and wipe down all of our machinery over here. And now the room is clean and it's ready if we need another surgery in here to get set up for that surgery. Okay, so now we're going to start the process of cleaning our surgical instruments. There are 3 components to cleaning the instruments. It's cleaning, decontamination, and then finally sterilization. So first thing we're going to do, I have my distilled water along with our detergent, our cleaning detergent right here. So I use for enzymes. And this is our pre-soaking, so basically it's just to make sure that our any debris and blood does not dry onto the instruments. And we want to make sure that all of our hinged and box locked instruments are open so that everything is clean. Throw all those in there. And after this, these are going to hang in here for about 15 minutes. We're going to do the pre-cleaning, which is manually washing, rinsing the instruments with distilled water and using a gentle brush to scrub away any of the debris and dried blood. And then we'll go into the decontamination process where we use a detergent to gently scrub off and scrub the entire instrument by hand. And then finally, they are ready to go into the autoclave. In addition to the using the autoclave for sterilization, after the decontamination process, some hospitals will use an ultrasonic cleaner to further the sterilization and decontamination process. And then you can also use instrument lubrication to get into the hard to reach places like the box locks and the hinges to make sure that everything remains clean. So we're gonna let these soak, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how to do a pre-cleaning along with our decontamination process. So now that our surgical instruments have been soaking in our enzyme detergent and distilled water, I'm gonna go ahead and soak them. I have another basin full of distilled water in here, and we're gonna wash that off, and then I'm gonna take my soft bristled brush, and I'm going to brush off all of them, clean them, and then I'm going to set them aside here for them to dry. And I want to make sure I get all the hinges and the lock boxes of some of these. So now that we have already gone ahead with our instruments and done the pre-soaking and the pre-cleaning, we can move on to the decontamination stage. So I have diluted with distilled cold water is my instrument stain remover cleaner. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to manually clean all the different parts of the instruments, and then I'm going to put it in, rinse that off in my distilled water over here. And then I'll set them out to dry again, and then we can begin the process of packing them into their individual surgery packs and putting them into the autoclave to be sterilized. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that. And it's really important to get on in between all the little cracks to make sure that we're getting all the hinges, all the box locks, the box locks. So that. And this helps to break down rust as well. So after this, I'll just let them soak for a moment in the distilled water, and then I will take them out and lay them all down again like they were before so that they can dry and be put into their individual surgery packs. So now that I've finished, I can go ahead and let these sit here to dry, and then we are going to, once they're dry, we're going to put them in a pack for the spay pack, and then they are going to be put into an autoclave to be sterilized. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to put together in this case it's going to be a spay pack. So I have my container that our instruments are going to sit in, and the spay pack has 18 instruments. So in the order they're going to go in, we have our Mayo scissors, we have our Metzen bounds, we have our needle holders. So in that order I'm going to set them up like so. And then next we have our large hemostats. 2 of them are straight, 2 of them are curved. We'll go in there as well. And then we have 2 small hemostats that are curved, and then 2 straight ones. So 4 small hemostats. I'm going to make sure that they are locked in place. They'll sit right there. Then I have 4 towel clamps. Have our scalpel blade handle, our spay hook, our snook hook, and then I have my thumb forceps. And I'm also going to put in a indicator strip, and then I also have my new gauze that I'm going to put in as well. And then of course we put our drape right on top. So as you can see, so I'll just go ahead and show you what that looks like. That's what the spay pack will look like when it's opened. So now we're going to go ahead and wrap it. So just like the gown, I'm going to take my lint roller and just get rid of any excess debris on my first wrap. Put my pack in the middle and bring my first corner over, and then make a triangle with it in an accordion manner and pull everything tight. Do the same with the other 3 corners. And then that last corner I'm going to tuck in. And then I will do the same thing with our outer wrap. Our pack is all wrapped up, so I'm going to take my tape and going to initial it. I'm going to put the date, and then I'm going to write that it is the spay pack. Put that right on here, just like the gown. And now this one is also ready to go in the autoclave as well. So I'm going to demonstrate how to properly fold a surgery gown. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take my lint roller, and I'm just going to go over the gown, make sure that there's no tears anywhere. Next I want to find my 2 neckties and just keep that out of the way. I'm going to fold the gown into 2 halves, either side, and I want the sleeves also folded in. Before I do anything else, I'm also going to go over it again with the lint roller. And then I'm going to fold it in half again and put our 2 ties right on top. I'm going to fold it into an accordion. Okay. Next I'm going to get my indicator strip, and this is just to make sure that the inside of the pack becomes sterile once it's through the autoclave, so I'm going to put that right on top. And I have my 2 my 2 gown wraps. So first one, I'm just going to go over it again with the lint roller. And I'm going to put it like a diamond and put my gown in the middle. I'll take one corner, bring it over, pull everything tight, and then I'm going to fold it back so it makes a triangle and sort of do an accordion like that. I'm going to pull everything tight again and do the same thing for the other 3 corners as well. And then I'll repeat this for the outer gown. And then I'm going to tuck this last one in so that a little triangle will appear like that. And do the same thing with the straight. So once that's done, now I want to get my indicator tape. It works the same way as the strip inside the pack, except this is going to determine whether or not the outside of the pack has been sterilized. So I'm going to put my initials and the date. And this is surgery gown. Put that on one side here, and I'm going to put the other one on the other side. And now this pack is ready to go into the autoclave. So the last part of the cleaning process for instruments and surgical gowns is sterilization, and we would use an autoclave for that. That's a sterilizer. This is a tabletop. So first thing you do is you want to have distilled water filled at the bottom, which I've already done. There's distilled water here, and it goes up through the top. We pour distilled water in, and then we would put our pack in. And the way an autoclave works, or at least the way this autoclave works, is that the water will be electronically heated and turned to steam, which will be forced out of the machine through a port. And then once that happens, the steam pressure will build until it reaches a specific temperature, and then that's when the sterilization process will begin. Once the cycle is complete, the steam will actually condense back down into water, and then it's the machine is the machine will cool down, and then we can take the packs out, and they should be properly sterilized. So we're going to take our pack and put it in this trough here, and you want to make sure that obviously it's not reaching any of the inner parts of the chamber, because otherwise that will prevent the steam from sterilizing it properly. We'll go ahead and close that. And then I want to switch our machine to sterilize, and we want to put it to about 45 right now, because we want the gauges for the temperature and the PSI to reach these green ranges here. The proper temperature for an autoclave to sterilize a pack is between 250 and 270 degrees Fahrenheit, and the PSI is between 15 and 30. So once it reaches there, which takes about 15 minutes, then it'll take for a pack like this, where it's heavily wrapped. We can go ahead and take a look at our cheat sheet here, and it says that it should take about 25 minutes at 15 psi, or 10 minutes for 30 psi. So we'll go ahead and leave that and check back in with it when it is finished being processed in the autoclave. As far as maintenance with an autoclave, you want to make sure that it's cleaned thoroughly weekly, and that means, using a non-adhesive detergent and just scrubbing the inside. And then monthly, you want to make sure that you are cleaning it with something like DuraClean and like checking the lines and make sure that's all clean. And then you can also go ahead and use a biological live spore test to make sure that the sterilization process is actually working. Once a year, you want someone to come to do maintenance on it, and that means like, you know, just calibrating it, making sure that it's working properly, cleaning it thoroughly, and such like that. So now that our pack has finished being sterilized in the autoclave, we can go ahead and open it up. And we've allowed it to sit for a while so that it can cool down so it's not hot to the touch. And as you can see, we have our indicator tape here. The black bars indicate that, that it has been sterilized properly. And when we would open this pack for surgery, there is a indicator strip in there that also makes sure that the sterilization, it like properly penetrated the pack. So that's what this is, and that's what it would look like. This circle here was originally like a pale color, and it turns black when it's exposed to the steam. And that's how the autoclave works. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to remove sutures. In this case, they're going to be staples from a incision. So I have my staple removers. I'm going to take these two little spots right here and go underneath the staple, and then I'm going to click it down into place, and it'll break the staple into two so I can pull it out like that. Put that over here so I don't lose it. And when you're looking at your suture, you want to, the suture area, you want to make sure that there's no inflammation, no redness, that everything was, there's no gaps on the line there. So this looks pretty good. Looks like most people are taken out, so there's just one more. And we'll give this area a good scrub so we can get rid of all the crusty stuff on there.